Here we are, day 2.
Woohoo!
Garden of Eden, chicken coop paradise.
Woo!
Yesterday we were able to get up about half of the coop. Today we're going to finish the rest of the body and put on the roof. Ideally we'll be able to put in all the roosts and the nests and have a fully operational coop by the end of tonight. So we're going to get on it. What I did last night is we had these 3 walls here which weren't really capable of supporting themselves. So I just took a big pallet and I tied it to the structure itself to give it some stability, sort of as a temporary wall. And then I took a couple 2x4s, or they're actually 2x4s, but some boards, and screwed them in up at the top to give it some top stability so that it couldn't blow over in the wind or lose any sort of structural integrity while it was up. So I'm just going to quickly pull all that down, and then we'll be able to piece the rest together. Let's do it!
Do it. Let's do it.
All right, we've got the full one side wall up, and we've just taken a pallet here and created a leg out of it, just tied it with a couple strings there. And now we're going to raise up this last part of this side wall, and we'll have both of our long walls. Now this side here we're going to have a door, and we're going to be doing some framing in here. So we're just going to create another leg for this wall once it's up, and then we'll actually start roofing from that side down. And the roof is what's really going to bring the whole piece together. Until that roof is on there, this whole thing's going to be pretty wobbly. You know, like this thing is standing, it weighs a lot, it's really heavy, strong, solid wood, but, you know, this is a little tiny shake, it reverberates through the whole wall all the way down to the end. It's sort of like a little snake or a wave. So, until we get the roof on that holds it all together, it's going to be pretty weak. As long as we can get it straight and stable enough to get the roof on here, then we're golden. So that's the only real priority right now, is getting it to stand up straight, getting it in the position we really want it to be in so that we can roof it and tie it together, and that's when it becomes strong. There you go. Hit it. This whole thing shakes with just that little push.
So here we had been working out in the sun, and just me and 2 guys, and we didn't have a cameraman. And we had raised the final wall, and I was like, well, that was pretty awesome, and we haven't had any video yet of the raising of an entire wall, so having a video would be really great. So I set up a bamboo tripod, and it was so badass I had to take a picture of it as well. And then the camera lady showed up. Here I'm telling them, man, that bamboo tripod's even more genius than this chicken coop.
Yay or nay?
Yeah.
Alright, on 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh, progress. Perfect. Yatta! Yatta! I haven't heard that in a minute. Yatta! If she starts spending time though, like Hero did, I'm out of here.
Now be sure the coop's as straight as you can get it. You won't be able to get it totally straight with warped pallets. but each piece you set up needs to be straight, and you can do that by measuring. Otherwise, it'll be difficult to do in the end.
Nicky. You want to wear it? Ready? Okay. Okay, here you go. Ooh. Ready. So I've really gotten in the groove here with these pegs, and not only do they work really amazing, but it's just so much more fulfilling to drive this handcrafted bamboo peg into this solid wood frame instead of a screw with a power drill. It's actually way more, for this purpose, it's way more solid than a screw is. So when you're building, there's a lot of factors to take into account, and the simpler the building, the less factors there are. The bigger and more complicated the building, the more factors there are. And we've sort of just gone over like the simple aspects, but if you look at the physics of building, in this particular example, we don't really need any help from keeping the wood from going like this. What we really need help with is keeping the wood from going like this or like this. So we really have no risk whatsoever of the wood coming apart like this because of the physics of the building. But there is a lot of potential for one of the pieces going like this or like this, vice versa. Now this peg is going to keep that from happening. And there's all sorts of ways you could do that. You could put screws, you know, through here, and it would do the same thing, but a screw is not near as strong as this is. And it's not near as big either. You know, a bolt would work really well. It would be stronger than this, but you'd be buying a bolt that's manufactured in China, you know, in a factory and shipped across the world and purchased at a, you know, a corporate headquarters, you know, conglomerate. You know, this is something that is doable, that doesn't support that, and also if that didn't exist, this supports that. Now, I'm not necessarily saying we need to prepare for an Armageddon or for a, you know, a world collapse. But being aware that the fact is that bamboo grows out of the ground. It's free. It's harvestable. This is doable forever. Whereas a huge bolt, like I said, shipped around the world, made in a factory from a corporate conglomerate, is only possible if that reality exists. So this is awesome, and it's holding this really sturdy, real solid. There's just no moving here whatsoever. So once we actually get the beams for the roof, this whole thing is going to be totally solid.